Have you ever wondered why those with the greatest callings often walk the loneliest roads? Why the ones set apart by God seem to face the deepest pain? And what if the very isolation you're fighting is the evidence that you've been chosen? There's something mysterious, even weighty, about being called, about being chosen. It's not something most people fully understand. When God sets you apart for a purpose that stretches far beyond your own imagination, it doesn't come wrapped in ease or comfort. Instead, it often comes with silent battles, quiet tears, and an invisible load that few around you can see, let alone carry. The chosen ones, those handpicked for a divine assignment, don't walk where everyone else walks. Their steps are different. Their pace is different. And because of that, their journey is often one of solitude. When God calls you, He doesn't keep you hidden in the safety of the crowd. No, He pulls you out. He draws you away. And that drawing out, while divine, can feel like a tearing away. It feels like loneliness, like rejection, like not belonging anywhere you once called home. But hear this. You were never meant to blend in where you were called to lead. Yes, the burden of being chosen is real. It reshapes how you see the world, how you hear God's whispers, and how you carry the vision burning inside of you. That fire within, it will drive you to places others don't understand. You'll try to explain, hoping they'll see it too, but they'll look back at you, confused, distant. You'll want to bring them along, but they'll hesitate, or even walk away. And that's where the heartbreak begins, because being chosen doesn't only set you apart from the world. It can painfully separate you from those you love. You've likely felt this sitting in rooms full of people and still feeling unseen. Surrounded by friends and family, yet strangely disconnected. Why? Because deep inside, you know, you were meant for something more. But that ache, that loneliness, it's not a mistake. It's not a punishment. It's a signal. It's God doing something in you that He's not doing in everyone else. When you are chosen, you simply cannot think, live, or move like everyone else. You've been wired for something different, and that difference demands separation. God is building something in you that needs room to grow, room that distraction, and healthy relationships, and old habits can't occupy. And sometimes, the only way for Him to make that space is to pull you away from everything and everyone you once thought you needed. I know the burden feels heavy. I know you've cried in secret, asking God, why me? But if He called you to it, He will strengthen you for it. You weren't picked by accident, you were built for this. And just like Moses, Joseph, and David, each chosen, each isolated before they were elevated, you too are being shaped in the quiet. Because before God releases you into your destiny, He will refine you in the shadows. Now, you may be wondering, what does that refining really look like? What does it mean when God strips away everything familiar? The breaking season you've been walking through. It's not the end, it's the beginning. It's the refining fire that God uses to purify your purpose, to burn away every impurity, every false identity, and leave only what is truly His. This lonely road isn't punishment, it's preparation. Because it's in that quiet, separated place where His voice becomes the clearest. That sacred silence becomes the preparation ground for a future greater than anything you've dared to imagine. So don't fight it. Don't resist the wilderness. Embrace it. Because there will come a day, a moment you didn't expect, when God whispers, now. And in that moment, you'll step into the fullness of your calling. You'll look back on every sleepless night, every lonely moment, and realize, what felt like abandonment was actually God's hand. Shaping you, walking beside you in silence, preparing you so that when the spotlight comes, you won't just shine, you'll carry His glory. But if loneliness is the classroom, then rejection is often the test. Rejection cuts deep. It doesn't just bruise your heart, it shakes your sense of worth. You wonder, what's wrong with me? Am I really called? Did I misunderstand what I felt burning inside? You stepped out in faith, believing people would recognize the calling in you, that they would stand by your side, but instead, they walked away. They dismissed you. They didn't see what you carried, and that pain, it lingers, it echoes. But listen closely, rejection is not God's way of saying you're not enough, it's His way of setting you apart. We take rejection personally. We let it define us, label us, wound us. But God sees it differently. When He allows rejection, it's because He's protecting you, redirecting you, shielding you from what might have distracted or derailed your calling. He knows what fits your purpose and what doesn't. Look at Joseph. He had dreams, clear visions of what God would do through him. Yet his own brothers couldn't stand the light in him. They rejected him, betrayed him, sold him. Had they accepted him, Joseph might have remained in comfort, never pushed toward the path that led to Egypt, to the palace, to the very purpose God had already prepared. Sometimes, it's the people you love most who won't understand your vision. They can't see what God showed you. And in your heartache, you'll be tempted to shrink, to tone it down, to dim your light just to be accepted. But friend, God didn't call you to fit in. He called you to stand out. So when the rejection comes, and it will, don't chase after those who walk away. Don't mourn doors that close. If God allowed it to shut, it's because there's something greater ahead. Even if you can't see it yet, even if the pain feels fresh, trust that every rejection is guiding you one step closer to your destiny. Some of you are still holding on to the sting of rejection. You're replaying old conversations, letting others' opinions define your worth. But let me remind you, your value is not based on who left, it's anchored in who called you. If God called you, that's your confirmation. If He chose you, no rejection can revoke what heaven has decreed. Shift your perspective. See rejection not as a curse, but as a divine sign God is moving. He's clearing the path, removing those who can't go where you're going, making room for the right people, in the right place, at the right time. Even Jesus, the Son of God, faced rejection. He was mocked, despised, abandoned by the very ones He came to save. He was betrayed by those closest to Him, yet He never let rejection derail His purpose. So why do we, the chosen, expect anything different? The truth is, the higher the calling, the deeper the rejection. The greater the purpose, the lonelier the road. But that's not the end of the story, because rejection is only the beginning of something greater. And that leads us to what must happen next when rejection gives way to breaking. And breaking gives birth to the version of you who is finally ready for the weight of your calling. Rejection wasn't the end. It was never meant to be. It was just the beginning of God's preparation in you. You see, every no you received, every person who walked away, every door that shut, none of it was wasted. God has been using every one of those moments to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for the very thing He created you to carry. Rejection was not a sign of your unworthiness. It was a sign that He was clearing the path for what's next. So the next time rejection shows up at your door, don't beg for acceptance. Don't lower your head or silence your voice. Stand tall. Stand firm. You were never called to blend in, you were called to stand out. And standing out always comes with a cost. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when God says, before I elevate you, I must break you. But this breaking is not destruction. No, it's the breaking that removes what cannot go with you into your next season. It's the kind of breaking that strips off pride, distractions, comfort, and old identities. It's the kind that clears the stage for God's glory alone. Because God never promotes without preparation, and preparation always comes with pain. Many think that being chosen means a smooth path, a life without storms. But look at the lives of those God used most. There's a pattern. Before the elevation, there was isolation. Before the breakthrough, there was heartbreak. Before the crown, there was a crushing. In the crushing, you may feel like everything is falling apart. Doors close, people leave, opportunities disappear. You wonder, God, why this? Why now? Why me? And his answer, because I am making you into who you were always meant to be. Gold is refined in fire, diamonds are formed under pressure. All only flows when the olive is crushed. And what God placed inside of you can only come out through the breaking. The dreams he gave you, the strength he knows is within you, the purpose he knit into your very soul, all of it must be drawn out. And it won't happen while you're comfortable. It won't happen when everything is easy. It happens when you're on your knees, when there's nothing left to hold on to but him. When you've been stripped of every false security and you finally cling only to his word. One day, you'll look back on this season, and you'll thank him for it. You'll realize that every tear, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer was preparing you for the very thing you prayed for. You'll see that what you thought was rejection was actually protection. What felt like suffering was actually the shaping of a vessel God intends to use. And what seemed like the end, it was only the beginning of the person God was molding you into. So don't resist the process. Don't try to escape the pain. Don't rush the healing. Because up ahead on the other side of this breaking is something greater than you can imagine. And as we continue, you'll see why God doesn't always announce your calling with fireworks. Sometimes, he proves it in the wilderness. What you once thought was the end was really just the beginning of the person God was shaping you to become. So don't resist the process. Don't try to outrun the pain. Don't rush the healing. Let God do what only he can do. Let him strip away what no longer serves your future. Let him tear down the false securities, the attachments, the habits, and even the relationships that are holding you back. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will feel like loss. Yes, there will be moments where it all seems unfair. But I promise you, when he's finished, you'll be stronger, you'll be wiser, you'll be unshakable. When God sets you apart, he rarely announces it with flashing signs or grand miracles. Often, he does something far more powerful. He simply makes you different. And at first, you won't understand why. You'll be surrounded by people but still feel alone. You'll be given opportunities, but none of them feel quite right. You'll try to build relationships, but they won't last. And slowly, questions begin to rise. Why do I feel like I don't belong? Why does my journey look nothing like theirs? The answer, because you weren't created to blend in. You were never meant to fit into places that couldn't hold your calling. Your path is different because your purpose is different. And that kind of calling, it demands a cost. There is a weight that comes with being chosen, a weight few people will understand. There's a loneliness that walks hand in hand with purpose. And if you're not careful, you might start resenting the very thing that sets you apart. You might begin to see your uniqueness as a curse rather than a gift. But listen to me, being different is not a flaw. It is evidence that God's hand is on your life. It means he's preparing you for something greater, something that requires you to be set apart. But that process, it's not always easy. It means losing people you thought would stay. It means enduring seasons of isolation, where you question everything. It means walking through doors alone, trusting that if God brought you there, He will carry you through. It means making choices that no one else understands, choices that require radical faith, deep trust, and courageous sacrifice. Look at Moses. He was raised in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by luxury, influence, and status. But deep down, he knew he didn't belong. He could have stayed. He could have enjoyed a life of comfort. But he was called to something greater. That calling led him away from applause and into the wilderness. It led him into solitude, into silence, into a season where he had no one but God. And some of you're in that same wilderness right now. You feel like you're walking alone, like you've been severed from everything familiar. And it's tempting to think, did I miss it? Did I fail? Did I do something wrong? But friend, hear me. This is not punishment. This is preparation. God is not isolating you to harm you. He is setting you apart to prepare you. He is teaching you how to trust Him when the path isn't clear. He is training your ears to hear Him in the silence. He is strengthening your heart so that when the time comes, when the moment arrives, you'll be ready to step boldly into the purpose He created you for. Because when you look back, you'll understand. Every lonely night, every strange path, every misunderstood decision, it was all necessary. He never forgot you, never abandoned you, never turned away. He was setting you apart, molding you, preparing you. And when He finally launches you into your calling, you'll be equipped not only to lead but to endure. But there's something else you need to know. Being chosen doesn't just make you different, it makes you a target. And from the moment God marked you with purpose, the battle began. It feels like you've had to fight for everything: your peace, your purpose, even your very existence. And the truth is, you didn't go looking for the fight. The fight came looking for you. While others walk through life seemingly untouched, your path has felt like a battlefield. You face loss, betrayal, rejection, and hardship. You've cried in silence and endured storms that made you question everything. And still, the question lingers in your soul: why? Let me tell you something powerful. The battle is not proof that you're forgotten. It's proof that you're anointed. The intensity of the attack is the evidence of the weight you carry. The enemy doesn't waste time on people without purpose. He doesn't pursue those who are no threat to his plans. He comes after the ones marked by heaven, the ones destined to shift atmospheres and shake foundations. That's why your fight has been so intense. That's why life has tried to break you again and again. Because even when you couldn't see the greatness inside you, hell could. The enemy saw the calling on your life before you did. He recognized the seed God planted in you, and he's been trying to uproot it ever since. Look at Joseph. God gave him a dream, a glimpse of divine destiny. But before he wore the robe of royalty, he had to wear the weight of betrayal. Sold by his brothers, falsely accused, thrown into a prison. Everything in his life looked like it was unraveling. But in heaven's plan, everything was being aligned. Each trial, every moment of pain, every unjust circumstance was positioning him. Not just for promotion but for purpose. And maybe that's where you are right now. In the pit, in the pressure, wondering why it's so hard. Wondering if any of it will make sense. What you can't yet see is what's happening behind the curtain. Every battle has been training. Every hardship has been refining. God does not call the untested. He does not place destiny in the hands of the unprepared. So, He allows the struggle, not to destroy you but to develop you. to equip you with strength, to clothe you with discernment, to harden your resolve so you can carry the weight of the mission He's assigned to you. That's why the pressure has been so great, because your purpose is even greater. The enemy has fought you hard, but he cannot win. He can attack, but he can't overturn what God has decreed. He can try to block you, but he cannot cancel the assignment that has already been written over your life. So don't let the fight make you bitter. Don't let the wounds make you forget who you are. Every challenge, every trial, every scar, it's divine confirmation. You are not ordinary. You are chosen, set apart, sealed with heaven's authority. And when this battle is over, and it will end, you will rise, stronger, wiser, ready. You'll be equipped not just to carry the promise, but to sustain it. Because when God prepares a path for you, He also prepares you for the path. And that preparation, it's never what we expect. It's rarely convenient, and it's almost never comfortable. But it's always necessary. And here's what you must understand next: being chosen doesn't guarantee acceptance. Sometimes, it guarantees the opposite. Being chosen doesn't always come with celebration. Sometimes it comes with isolation, with rejection, with confusion. There will be seasons when you're not understood, not accepted, not embraced even by those closest to you. Sometimes, being chosen means walking alone. It means watching doors close that you thought were God's will. It means being misunderstood by the very people you expected to stand by your side. It means enduring storms you never saw coming, facing giants you never thought you'd have to fight. And in those moments, your heart will whisper questions. If I'm truly called, why does this hurt so much? If I'm walking in obedience, why does the road feel so hard? If God is with me, why do I feel so unseen? But what if I told you the struggle is the evidence, the loneliness is part of the process? The silence is not God's absence, but His intimacy. The breaking is not your undoing, it's your becoming. Think of David. When the prophet poured oil on his head, anointing him as king, he wasn't ushered into a throne room, he was sent back to the field. Ignored, overlooked, forgotten. Even his family didn't see him as fit to lead. And after the confirmation, after the call was declared, David's life didn't get easier, it got harder. He was hunted, slandered, isolated. He fought battles in caves, not castles. He endured betrayal from friends, threats from enemies, and long seasons of silence from God. But all of it was shaping him into the man who would not just wear the crown but carry it with humility and strength. And maybe, that's exactly where you are now. In the waiting, in the hiding, in the wondering. You've been faithful, but the doors haven't opened. You've been obedient, but the path is steep. You're carrying promises, but they feel distant. Let me remind you, just because the promise hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it's not on the way. Just because you're still in the wilderness doesn't mean you've taken the wrong turn. God isn't punishing you, He's preparing you. He's building character in the quiet place. He's developing strength in the secret place. He's teaching you to walk by faith when there's nothing else to hold on to but His word. Because when the moment comes for you to step into everything He's called you to do, you won't just be ready, you'll be anchored. And not everyone will understand this process. Some will doubt you. Some will walk away. Some will reject the version of you that's emerging through the fire. But don't let their misunderstanding shake your calling. Don't let their silence define your value. If they leave, let them. If the door shuts, thank God. Because what He's building in you is greater than what you've lost. The chosen will always face the hardest battles. They will carry the heaviest weight. but they are also entrusted with the greatest authority, the deepest wisdom, and the most enduring strength. And when you come out on the other side, and you will not be the same. You will not be shaken. You will not be broken. You will walk in power, because you've been tested. You will speak with authority, because you've been refined. You will lead with compassion, because you've been wounded and healed. So don't be discouraged by the process. Don't lose sight of the promise. Keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing, because what God has spoken over your life will not return void. His word is true, His timing is perfect, and when the preparation is complete, nothing on this earth will be able to stop what God has ordained for you. You've been chosen, not for ease, but for impact. Not for applause, but for eternal purpose. And though the road has been long, though the fire has been hot, you are still here, and you're ready.